Hello and welcome to Boss Unfiltered. My name is Ray Boss. Today we're going to be discussing why you need a realtor when purchasing a new home build. Alright, two quick things before we get started. Number one, when I make this conversation about new home builds, I am not talking specifically about buying a lot and building a custom home on it. I am talking about when you purchase a home from a new home developer, builder, have it go through their process. Typically, you'll find these in subdivisions, whether they're big or small. It's not to say that the principles covered in this conversation do not apply to an individual custom home built on a lot that you purchase. It's just that for this conversation, I'm specifically talking about that. Number two, if you like this video, if you like this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Please share the video. It's how we grow this organically. Certainly do appreciate you doing that. The first and most important reason why you should hire a realtor when you go through the new home build process is that they are looking out explicitly for your best interests. When you go in from the very first moment and you meet with that builder rep, guess who they are repping? It is the builder. It's built into their name, right? They are looking out for the builder, number one, throughout the entire process. Sure, they want you to be happy, but at the end of the day, bottom line, they're looking out for the builder. As you're going through the process, they are not going to suggest to you, hey, by the way, why don't you get a home inspection? You can actually do that before the drywall goes up. They're certainly going to try and upsell you if you have the ability to negotiate for, the different amenities within the house, whether you want to, get level 1 versus level 3. Absolutely, they're going to be pushing you to level 3 if they can. All right. So at the end of the day, remember, if you want somebody who cares about you, who cares about your priorities, who cares about your needs and wants and all of these different aspects of your life, then hire a realtor. Hire somebody who is going to care about you, who understands the process, who can marry those two things together. And look, it ain't no stinking builder rep that's just going to be looking out for the builder. All right, number two, when should you use your realtor? You should use your realtor from the very first moment that you meet with a builder rep. Sure, you can drive through the community. Nobody's going to flag you down for that. However, once you step into that model home, once you start talking to the builder rep, you need to have your realtor by your side. That is incredibly important because a lot of these builders will have laws that say if you come in and sign in without an accompanying realtor, that person does not get paid. Listen, I love you, okay? I want the best for you. I also have to make sure that I get paid at the end of the day. You're not the one doing it, okay? The builder is going to pay my commission. However, it is important that we get paid, okay? As realtors, we are professionals. This is what we do. So we want to be able to ensure that we can then make sure that we are there as your representation from day one. All right, number three reason to use a realtor is because they can look at the big picture. Now, you do not want to hire just any realtor, okay? Your realtor should have experience with the new home build process because it is very different from that of a resale. All right, you need to have understanding of the different ways that different homes are built. Is it a spec home? Are they going to allow a lot more customizations? When you go in and meet with a builder rep, they are typically going to price you out, right? They're going to help you build this home, assuming it's not a spec home, which is a home where it's already predetermined what is going to come into this home, what's going to be placed in the home, the types of finishes and all those types of things. All right. So assuming it's not that, assuming this is a home that you get to customize and you get to go through some of those fun processes, it is important that you know where in that process you are. they're going to ask you to sign a contract at some point. All right. Now, have you been pre-approved? Have you fully finalized what that price is going to be? Or is there a possibility that you go to the design center and that you are going to tack on a whole host of additional costs? The builder rep may not give you the full truth if that were to happen. However, look, you don't know what you don't know. A good realtor is going to know what questions to ask to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Most importantly, you, the buyer. All right. So make sure that you hire a realtor who has good proficiency within the new home build process. All right. Number 4, we've got negotiation. Yes, you can. You can negotiate on a new home build just like you could on a resale. Now, it depends on the market, just like a resale. In today's market, we are very low on inventory. Your ability to negotiate, dependent on where you are, is going to have varying levels of success. All right. It's just the truth of the matter. It's the truth of the market. So as you go through this, you might find that builders are less willing to negotiate. However, knowing what the best strategies are is going to be something that you, as a first-time new home builder or buyer rather, or maybe it's even your second or third time, likely don't have the level of experience that a realtor who does this regularly will, and will know which ways to attack. Maybe it's just not always on the price. Maybe there are other ways. Maybe they are really, it's important to the builder that they have that sales price as $700,000, but they're willing to give you a credit of $10,000 or $20,000. Maybe if you use their vendors, then they will give you some of those rebates. Okay. However, they want that final sales price because it helps them as a comp for their next sale. So that's very important, right? A realtor should go in being able to approach that in different ways to find the right negotiating tactic. All right, building off of the last portion where I mentioned that there are oftentimes preferred lenders, there are also oftentimes preferred title companies that these builders will have. Now, sometimes they will give you a credit for using them. However, sometimes they require that you just be pre-approved through that lender. It's important to understand that you can shop those rates, okay? And a realtor should have a great network of trusted professionals that they can call on to help you and guide you and give you an idea. Is this rate the best? Maybe they can come back to that preferred lender and either negotiate a lower rate or negotiate credit to be given should you choose to use that lender. There are many different ways to approach that. Certainly should be looking through all of them as you go through this process. All right, number 6. Now this one is very important to me, and I think it's going to be very important to you. Realtors, two of their most important assets are what's in here and what's in here. All right. Now, what's in here comes with going that extra effort for your client, caring about your client, having the integrity to put your client ahead of yourself. Okay. Now, what's in here is also incredibly important. Okay. You need to be able to have that knowledge to be able to guide your client on different aspects of the transaction that they might not necessarily think of. And this is very much the case in a new home build. Previously, I mentioned that you do have the ability to get an inspection. It's not something that most people are aware of. They say, okay, well, they're doing the pre-drywall walkthrough. Well, guess what? You can have a third-party independent inspector come to that walkthrough and do a full inspection. And it is 100% worth it, okay? Because you want somebody who is impartial and who has the knowledge base to be able to look at everything, and before they put up the drywall and before you can't see that again ever until something happens, you want them to be able to inspect it. Okay? Very, very important. Furthermore, as you're going through the upgrades process, the pricing process, some of those are going to be absolutely worth it. Others, maybe you consider doing after settlement. Some of them are completely unnecessary and you don't need to do it at all. A realtor who is looking out for your best interests is going to understand how to differentiate between all of those. You can also take a look at lots, different lot locations, and okay, some of them might have a lot premium on there. They might cost more for that lot, but again, does that align with what your priorities are? There are many facets of this process, and a good realtor will be able to give you useful tips and guide you throughout that to make sure that your priorities, your needs, your wants, all of those things are being met. All right, number 7. This is an important one. It's when shit hits the fan, because we try to never have that. Whether it's a resale, a new home build, a rental, I don't care what it is. I don't want shit to hit the fan, but sometimes it does. And sometimes when it does, it rains, it pours, it's craziness, right? So, who are you going to have fighting for you? Are you going to have that builder rep who is looking out for the builder? Are you going to have yourself who, no offense, but you don't have the knowledge base to be taken quite as seriously as somebody who is a professional who has gone through this, who can keep a level head, who can have a great understanding of the entire process, look at the big picture, and be able to give you all of that information that you need, and then, so that you understand what's going on, but then also to fight on your behalf. And you want somebody who's going to go in there lock, stock, and barrel. I think that's pretty much it. You got the lock, you got the stock, you got the barrel. Yeah, that's it. All right. So you want somebody who's going to go in there fighting for you. All right. So that's very important. And just understand that nobody wants it, and we are always going to be trying to avoid it. All right. But if it happens, you need somebody there to be your insurance policy. All right. Now this last one, and this is the last one, but sometimes it is, and not just sometimes, very often it is confused, okay? You lose nothing by hiring a realtor, and it costs you nothing to hire a realtor. The commission of the realtor is paid by the builder. The most confusion is, a lot of people will go in there and say, all right, well, the agent's getting paid $20,000 for this transaction. That's $20,000 that I should be able to save from the builder. It is not going to happen. Look, they are going to enjoy that benefit if you don't use it, okay? But to them, it's just a business expense, okay, if they have to pay it. So they will not knock off that $20,000. I have wanted to make sure about this. I have called tons and tons of builder reps and spoken to upper management about this just to make sure, because I want to know across different companies how they kind of run things. And I've also just wanted to know. I've had clients who have walked away. I said, look, listen, I want to be sure you're not getting anything from my client. Do you definitely, will the buyer definitely not get anything cut off if they were to not use me? And they have all across the board confirmed that it makes no difference. You will not get that $20,000 or whatever the commission is cut off of the price. All right, so that's it for today. Look, new home builds are a great option for you, okay? Because we are in a low inventory situation across the nation. And while there is not enough new home builds to meet the needs of everybody, it's still an additional option that can be put in front of you if you need to move in a fairly fast situation, or maybe that's just what you're looking for. Whatever it is, it's certainly something that should be considered. I hope it's been helpful. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video. Have a wonderful one. I'll catch you on the flip side.